Hey everyone, welcome to the Above Board podcast. So I don't know about you, but I love these sound bites that keep coming across my feed lately on social media. And it's like some financial guru, or it's like a life coach or some type of mentor person. And they're like, it's so easy to save an extra $100K a year. Like all you got to do is earn an extra $273 per day at 365 days, 7 days a week. That's an hourly rate of XYZ. And they just kind of go on to do this like really basic arithmetic, but like insane money math. And I will say I do love the premise of it. It's to kind of start big with a big, the BHAG, right? The big, hairy, audacious goal, and then back into a financial goal that can be done quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, whatever. But I just think most financial mistakes aren't like math problems that can be solved with a calculator. Like obviously, they're getting at the idea that you could simply work harder or work more, which is great to an extent. Like I'm all about hard work, but I think your life will feel awfully out of balance if all you do is work around the clock. Because this podcast today is for the person who already works hard, by the way. Like I'm going to assume that is table stakes for you. If it's not, then maybe it's like, a good time to pause and take like a long, hard look in the mirror and decide like, should I also be working more? But for most of you that are here with me today, let's assume that's table stakes. You already work hard. So if that's not the issue here, what's the other one? Well, I think there's another small segment of this where, this is a big deal, but like people do just make financial mistakes it's just bad decision making. Dave Ramsey is famous for calling this the stupid tax. Not understanding how your APR works, not knowing how much interest you're paying over the life of your automobile loan, or not understanding the type of accounts you should invest in, and you put it in something that has penalties if you need to get it back out. Like those are also really fixable things, you guys. Like go to YouTube and learn. It's all out there. Heck, follow us on YouTube at CandorPath and learn. I bet you there is a podcast, a segment, a short video, a blog, a something where we've talked about almost any financial topic you can think of. But the largest amount of, I think, financial mistakes or mishaps that I see being made today, again, they're not necessarily like money math problems. I think it involves, it's a little more complicated than that. I think it involves three different things. I think it's an awareness problem, as well as a behavioral problem and a discipline issue. And by discipline, I do not mean to work more. I think I made that clear already. I'm referring to the discipline to be able to go without. Maybe like spend a little bit less than you're used to, and then as a result of that, saving a little bit more money, having a conversation of needs versus wants. Here's the lie that I think a lot of people tell themselves, like, if I just made more money, this would be easier. Like, I'm kind of getting behind on bills, but like when I get that bonus in, at the beginning of the year, or at the end of the year, I'll pay everything back and then we can kind of like clean slate it and start over. But I'm telling you guys, like I have sat with families in meetings that make $80,000 per year, family of 4 with 2 kids. They are stable, confident, and they're doing good. Like they're sleeping well at night and they're saving money. And I've sat across from families making $500,000 a year who are stressed. They are leveraged to the max, and they are one bad month away from bankruptcy. More income didn't fix it. That was a behavioral and discipline issue. And I think, far too many people do have the habit also of telling themselves like they're not good at money, or they're not good at money decisions and money math, so they avoid it. And then it just becomes easier to say to ourselves, as I mentioned a moment ago, like, oh, what? Like I'll get this bonus, I'll get this pay bump, and then I'm going to start saving. Like I'll start saving when, and then insert answer. And so the first issue I see over and over again is the discipline gap. There is a difference between knowing and doing. You need to automate your savings. You know that lifestyle creep is real. You know that you should have a spending plan, but discipline is boring. It is not exciting stuff. It's just building wealth quietly in the background. And I think financial success for most people is repetitive, automated, and uneventful. And it comes with the sacrifice of delaying gratification, going without something and saving instead. So the second one is the awareness gap. You cannot change what you refuse to measure. Said another way, which is like the famous quote that I always think about, which is what gets measured gets improved. Most people don't actually know what they spend in a month. They don't know their burn rate. They certainly can't calculate their savings rate, which is the number one thing that I want people to know about their lives and the folks that are listening to this podcast. Sidebar convo, by the way, like if you know your savings rate, then you know what you're spending each year. Easy math formula. So I know I said it's not a money math problem, but sometimes things are easy math formulas. This is an easy one. If you know how much you're making each year, which I presume you do if you file your taxes, and if you know how much you're paying in taxes each year, which I presume you do if you file your taxes, and you can see that on your 1040. So we know how much we've earned gross. We know how much we paid in tax. Then take everything you're saving to your various savings vehicles, your retirement plans, your IRAs, maybe additional debt pay down on a mortgage or something like that. Everything that's going towards building your net worth and saving, you can figure out what you're spending. That's the only number that's left. It's like gross income less your taxes, less your savings rate equals what you're probably spending over the course of the year, unless you're putting it on credit. And in which case you're outspending what you're earning, and that is a big problem. And I think, it's fascinating to me, like the folks listening to this, you hearing this, like everyone, we're talking about high performing people in all other areas of their life. But then when it comes to money, we kind of guess and we assume and we avoid. And for me, it's like just create some baseline awareness that really forces change, because guessing is really expensive. Again, what we measure is what gets improved. The third thing I want to talk about, which I've mentioned already kind of throughout this, identity gap. That's the third thing I want to mention. So, people start to adapt these narratives, these stories. I'm not good with money. That's one I mentioned already. I work hard. I deserve this car. I work hard. I deserve this vacation. I'll figure it out later when I get my bonus. But your financial life is going to rise and fall to the level of your identity. If you see yourself as disciplined, you will act differently. You will act more disciplined. If you see yourself as intentional, you will act differently. Smart people make bad decisions with money every day, not because they lack intelligence, but because their behavior doesn't align with the person that they want to become. Now, I'm about to make a really silly, wild recommendation. It's not wild, but it has nothing to do with money, and it's not a money book. But my recommendation to helping folks with this is reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. It was tremendous for me to kind of help me with unpacking some of my mental junk in my brain and the internal narratives that I have. And I think for a lot of folks, when it comes to their money narratives, it will help too. And so I would highly recommend that book. I digress. At this point, it's not good enough to say that I don't understand it, or choosing to avoid bills that are stacking up on your desk and not opening them, pretending like they're not there. You don't have to be an expert at money to know some of the basic things that you need to know. And so today, right now, I want to get a little practical, and it's not going to be like this 90-day game plan of what you got to do, but there's a few things that I think you can do this week, today, to start working on this. The first one, track 1 week of spending, just 1 week, not a month, just 7 days. Every swipe, every purchase, no judgment, just put some awareness around it. Put it all on one card. And if it's you and a spouse, try to put everything on one card so you can just easily see it all in one place, not give yourself an excuse to not be able to track all the different places. I think the awareness there will really kickstart a lot of other things. The second one, automate one thing. Increase your 401k by 1%. Put a small $25 transfer to savings per month from your checking to your savings. Pay yourself first. Fund a Roth IRA. It's tax time. Maybe you're looking at IRA funding strategies for the prior year leading up to April 15th of this year. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but I think those small atomic habits can build identity. And you can, and then I'm pulling this from the book from Atomic Habits, but it's I am the type of person that saves. Now, you might not be ready to say I'm a saver yet. You might not believe that, but you could say, I am the type of person that saves money. And then the third thing is cancel one thing, one subscription, one recurring expense. Create a quick win, build momentum. Why are you paying $49 a month for Peloton if you use it 6 times a year? That doesn't make sense. You can YouTube a free workout in place of that. And then finally, last but not least, this is the fourth thing, schedule a 30-minute money date. My wife and I have been doing this a lot lately. It's been very helpful to just be proactive. And honestly, it ends up being more than just about money. It's all other things that we talk about. But put it on the calendar, log it, talk about it, look at some numbers. Most anxiety around money comes from the avoidance of it. and clarity reduces anxiety. By the way, if you're single, let's do this with a friend. Let's do this with a family member. Let's do this with a mentor. The exercise of doing this with somebody, having a money conversation with somebody doesn't have to cost money, and it doesn't have to take a significant burden of time. It's just something easy to do. So again, just to kind of repeat, track 1 week of spending, automate one thing, cancel one thing, and schedule a 30-minute money date or money conversation. Hey guys, listen, if this resonated with you, share it with someone who's smart but stuck. We all are. We all get at that, to that phase at some point in life. And if you want help closing the gap between knowing and doing, as I mentioned before, that discipline gap, check out www.YourMoneyStory.app. It's practical, it's actionable, it's quite literally built exactly for this problem. I don't always talk about it on this podcast, but having a very money-centric discussion like we are today, YourMoneyStory.app helps you go take a big, long stride in solving a lot of these issues with you and alongside you. All right, folks, that is it for this week. We'll see you next week. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in to the Above Board